Hello everyone, myself Zarina Thakur. I will be talking about hemorrhage. To define hemorrhage is defined as escape of blood from ruptured blood vessel. Classification. The first classification of hemorrhage is according to the nature of vessels involved. It's of three types: arterial, venous and capillary. Arterial hemorrhage, the blood is bright red in color, it jets out or spurts out, and the pulsation of the arteries can be seen. Venous hemorrhage, the blood is dark red in color, it flows steadily, and the blood loss is copious. In case of capillary hemorrhage, the blood is bright red in color, but it oozes out, as seen in the image. Second classification is according to the nature of bleeding or source of bleeding. It's of two types: external hemorrhage and internal hemorrhage. External hemorrhage is also called as reveal because it is seen externally. For example, epistaxis, that is bleeding from nose; hematemesis, that is vomiting of blood; hemoptysis, that is blood in cough or sputum. Internal hemorrhage is also called as concealed as it is not seen from outside. For example, bleeding peptic ulcer, ruptured ectopic pregnancy, rupture of spleen or rupture of liver. Third classification is according to the timing of hemorrhage. It is of three types: primary hemorrhage, reactionary hemorrhage, and secondary hemorrhage. Primary hemorrhage occurs at the time of injury or operation. Reactionary hemorrhage occurs within 24 hours of injury or operation, mostly 4 to 6 hours. Reactionary hemorrhage is seen in patients who are recovering from anesthesia or shock due to a rise in blood pressure when these patients become restless or they cough or vomit. For example, bleeding from superior thyroid artery after thyroidectomy if the ligature slips. Secondary hemorrhage, it occurs after 7 to 14 days of injury or operation. This hemorrhage is seen due to infection and slugging off of the vessel wall. For example, anorectal bleeding after hemorrhoidectomy, hematemesis after peptic ulcer operation. Clinical manifestations. As there is copious blood loss, the features will be of shock. So pulse will be increased and thready pulse will be seen. BP will be low, increasing pallor, restlessness, respiration will be deep sighing, air hunger, cold clammy skin because of peripheral vasoconstriction, empty veins, urine output becomes low, and hemorrhagic shock if blood loss more than 30 to 40% occurs. So all the signs of shock as seen in the picture or the immediate, early and advanced signs of shocks will be seen. Management. Our objective to treat hemorrhage is to control the blood loss, and second objective is to restore the blood either by blood transfusion or infusion of colloid solution, infusion of plasma or plasma substitute. Firstly, the general measures is to be taken, which includes hospitalization, care of airway, breathing and circulation. Oxygen is to be administered. In cases of conscious patients, the oxygen is administered using face mask or oxygen mask. And in cases of unconscious patients, endotracheal tube ventilation is used to administer oxygen. Then, controlling hemorrhage is a general measure. IV access. Ringer lactate is used to restore blood volume to normal. Investigation. Blood is collected for grouping and cross matching. Specific measures. It includes pressure and packing, position and rest, tourniquets, surgical methods. As seen in the diagram, the management for internal bleeding is transfusion of whole blood, transfusion of blood components, and hemostatic drugs. Management for external bleeding includes dressing, gauze, granules, powder, spray, glue, gel, tourniquet, and physical devices. Pressure and packing. It is to control bleeding from, for example, nose and scalp, where packing using a roller gauze with or without adrenaline to control bleeding from nose. Second is position and rest. Absolute rest is vital. Sedatives and analgesics are given to relieve anxiety and pain. Trendelenburg's position and anti-Trendelenburg's position are the most common position used. Trendelenburg's position is where the foot end of the bed is raised as seen in the left image. This is done in cases of hemorrhage from varicose vein. Anti-Trendelenburg's or reverse Trendelenburg's position is the position where the head end of the bed is raised as seen in the image on the right side. This is done in cases of hemorrhage from thyroidectomy wound. Tourniquets. The indications for using tourniquets to control hemorrhage is reduction of fracture, repair of tendons, repair of nerves, and when a bloodless field is desired. Contraindications. Patients with peripheral vascular disease. Types: pneumatic cuff with pressure gauge, rubber bandage. Precautions: if the tourniquet is too loose, it does not serve the purpose. If the tourniquet is tied too tight, arterial thrombosis occurs which may progress to gangrene. If the tourniquet is kept in place for too long, it may lead to gangrene. Complications of tourniquet: ischemia and gangrene, and also tourniquet nerve palsy. Surgical methods: it includes using artery forceps to control bleeding from blood vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries, ligatures, cauterization, bone wax to stop bleeding from bone ends, splenectomy for spleen rupture, hysterectomy for postpartum hemorrhage, laparotomy for ruptured ectopic pregnancy. Thank you.